Hello everyone and welcome to Sunburned. Albino ranks every boss in Bloodstained Ritual of the Night from easiest to hardest. We're playing on normal difficulty and there's room for a ton of disparity because this game has so many broken shard combinations that might demolish one boss over another, so I'm going to try to stick to overall difficulty without letting OP spells affect the ranking too much, although you'll still probably see them. Also, I don't know the names of most of these bosses, so I will be inventing ones for them that you may or may not find enjoyable. Number 1, Steampunk Train Bitch. The easiest boss in Bloodstained is this thing, mostly because Zangetsu is there to do absurd damage to it, but also because you can just walk up to its tongue and give it a great sword French kiss with pretty much no resistance. The boss will do attacks that either push you towards it or away. If towards, then that's all the better for you to just keep swinging, and if away, you just have to not take no for an answer and prove how bad you want to be all up in this dude's mouth. It's got next to no health, and Zangetsu's attacks do like 5 times as much damage as yours, so yeah, you're being carried, but at least you're still part of the three-way. Number 2, the Fondler. This boss is sure to dredge up painful memories for victims of molestation and/or awkward prom dances. The giant hand goes all out with its attacks, but in practically slow motion, so you can just run back to avoid basically everything. If you're gonna be hit by anything, it's the hand just shuffling around not doing anything, because this is Bloodstained, and in Bloodstained, enemies do contact damage, because there's nothing more painful than being clipped by somebody's stationary ankle. 80% of the health you lose in this game is due to enemies just being like, you know, I'm gonna go stand over there. The Fondler has little health, just make sure you kill it before it can pick up the last statue and throw it at you, otherwise you have to wait till you get double jump to get the Silver Knight familiar, which nobody cares about because we all know Carbosa is best waifu, even though that's not how you say her name, but I like it better. I didn't use her in this playthrough, but I did in my recorded series, which you can watch, and she is darling. Number 3, a dragon. This game has better dragons. This one's just kind of big, which is helpful because you can camp at its toenails and only jump away when he readies a tail swipe or claw swipe. Only boss I've ever seen die to a pedicure, but Bloodstained is weird like that. If you want to simulate the full experience, just talk shit about the dragon in Vietnamese while you work on its nails and then charge too much money. Number 4, Jebel. His name sounds like gerbil, and he's equally dangerous. All you have to do is constantly jump behind him, and he can't turn around fast enough to not spend 5 full seconds conjuring a spell to launch at a wall. To continue the story for the good ending, you have to damage him until the moon in the corner turns red. Then use the Zangetsuto katana to slice it, or you can just kill him, and it'll be very anticlimactic, and your character's like, did we win? And they're like, I guess so, and then they just walk out of the castle and back to your save point, and you're like, well, time to look up what the hell I'm supposed to do now for the 5th time this playthrough, after previously googling how to swim underwater and why did they put trap immune armor in an upside-down chest in the sky. Number 5, Zombie Richter. Behind the Warhorse door, the bounty lady says that the Revenant is responsible for killing Richter the Ruffian, and this zombie has a bunch of Richter's attacks, including the whip, the axe throwing, the unholy water, and some other bullshit. I'm not gonna pretend I'm a Castlevania buff. I was introduced to Richter in 2018 in a little game called Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, but if Richter's dead in this game, that seems very unfortunate. Regardless, he's super easy as long as you stay behind him like you did with Gerbil. He has 0 turnaround attacks, and you're fine as long as he doesn't back that ass up into you against the wall, which he loves to do, because Richter is a perv, probably. He's got a lot of health, but it's very easy to never get hit, so if you see me get hit by him in this footage, it's only because I'm flexing hella hard. I've also done a whole entire other playthrough since this footage was recorded, so I am better now. The shard he sometimes drops is really good if you rank it all the way up. I recommend it. Number 6, Flame Inverter. Yo, do you like dinosaur skeletons that erupt purple fire? Then you have weird taste, but you'll love this boss. The Flame Inverter manipulates flames and gravity to passively run around the ceiling and floor, spouting directionless fire, and doesn't really seem to care if he hits you or not. His ability to turn upside down and cling to the ceiling like Spider-Man is nothing better than a party trick, as it doesn't afford him any benefits at all, and you just have to avoid being directly under him while he's shooting them geysers out. Beating him gives you the ability to invert your own gravity as well, and you can even upgrade the shard if you want invincibility at the start of the move for no reason. Number 7, Reflecting Lizard Scorpion Man. I never said the names would all be fit for supervillains. Batman, look out! It's Reflecting Lizard Scorpion Man! By the time you finish the name, you're already unconscious. By the time you finish the name, you've also gotten pretty close to beating this boss, because Reflecting Lizard Scorpion Man is fragile, and his attacks are easy to dodge unless you get hit by them. Then they're pretty tough. Just find a quiet, laserless spot to dodge his reflecting attack and jump over him sometimes, and you got this. Number 8, Robot Chicken. This flamboyantly metal, poultry-looking thing is a graceful opponent on the battlefield, using its shiny, pointy legs to roundhouse kick you every chance it gets. It's not hard, though. As with many bosses, it's weak to being jumped over and behind, and its rainbow gay pride aurora attack can be dodged by staying moving in one direction. The annoying part is just having to chase this bitch down all the time, because every time he jumps up onto one of the upper platforms, he's just waiting for you to jump up after him so we can leap to the next one like a black swan ballerina, and I'm just sitting here praying he rolls an ankle and ruins his whole career so we can sit still while I murder him. But you're never in much danger during this fight, so it's fine. Beating him gives you the double jump shard, which is amazing, not only for the jumping, but because you can dive repeatedly in a direction and it's a little faster than walking. It's so aggravating how slow you move in this game before you get the accelerate shard. My finger doesn't leave the R1 button once I pick that shit up. Number 9, Millionaire's Bane. Otherwise known as the demon that killed Grandma, this fiendish slot machine is looking to hit the jackpot by scoring you as its next meal. Hitting it a certain amount of times will cause it to enter its slot mode and become invincible, as it cycles through possible options to attack you, but it'll mostly land on a couple cannons popping out of the ceiling and shooting ricochet bullets you can dodge by crouching in a corner. Whenever the machine slams the ground, keep to the middle or far sides of the arena so you don't get pelted with coins like a cheap stripper. This fight takes a while if you rely on physical attacks, but hitting the demon with certain magic spells actually doesn't make him turn invincible. I know I used Void Ray a lot off camera afterwards to farm him for drops. If he's being hit with a continuous long range kind of spell like that, he kind of just sits there and lets it run out. Waste all your MP on it, it's worth it. Number 10, Titty Kraken. This curvy ocean monster ain't wearing a sports bra or nothing, just brandishing them liquid titties for everybody like it's a free the sea nipple post on Instagram. This is the first boss you fight in this game, and the reason it's ranked harder than the rest we've listed so far is that your healing supplies are extremely limited, which means you can only barely get away with spamming attacks with no regard for anything. You can see in this footage that I have no regard for anything, and by the end you'll see me barely get away with it. I prefer the Claymore on this fight because you can reach the nice topless lady's head with it when she comes around to the starboard side and starts breathing lasers. If she wants to breastfeed her children, does she need to use a hydro pump? We have fun here. As much as you want to just smash her stomach mouth nonstop when it's in front of you, you have to retreat every now and then to not be hit by blasts of water, or else you might die, which is only slightly more embarrassing than me almost dying here. Number 11, Alfred. Alfred fights like a little bitch. There's no way around it. He just scuttles around the twisting battlefield doing spells and dropping shit everywhere. You gotta chase him down for half the battle while trying not to get poisoned or cursed as he scurries away in his man robe like a cowardly gremlin. I don't care if it turns out he was a good guy all along. I'm glad he's dead. The circular arena is annoying because you can't corner him. He can shuffle along in any direction to escape and he barely stops moving. Get behind him when you can as he charges his spells up and don't stay still for too long. When you beat him, you get the fabulous ability to run as fast as a drugged sloth underwater, but at least you can open chests now. Number 12, My Shadow. While walking this empty street on the boulevard of broken dreams where the city sleeps and you're the only one and you walk alone, your shadow is the only one that walks beside you and attacks using your same shard abilities you have equipped. This fight may feel like you're walking down the line that divides you somewhere in your mind on the borderline of the edge, but the easy way out of this predicament is to kill your doppelganger and then check your vital signs to know you're still alive so that you may finally actually walk alone. Bloodstained is a lonely road after all, the only one you've ever known to be sure, and though you don't know where it goes, it's only you and you walk alone, so that's cool. Number 13, Poker Face. This is such a randomly themed boss positioned in a random area of the map that heals a random amount of HP based on how much money you randomly have, and also randomly makes the frame rate dip into stop motion territory. People who say money can't buy health and happiness have clearly never met this dude. Learn to recognize his grab attack and avoid it, it's his most damaging move by far. Otherwise, go into this battle poor. Dirt poor. Respond to a Nigerian prince's email and get your credit card scammed before you fight this boss. Entrust Equifax and Capital One with your financial security before you fight this boss. Tell me your mother's maiden name, the name of your first pet, and the last 4 digits of your social security number before you fight this boss. Because halfway through, he will steal all your money and use it to heal a proportionate amount of his own health. There's your upside to extreme poverty. Get pregnant as a teenager, drop out of school, and go for it, baby. Number 14, Zangetsu. As you're still learning the game at this point, that this fight is the second boss can be daunting, as you really have to learn his attack patterns and the best ways to dodge them, or just jump around a bunch and hope for the best. Definitely abuse jumping behind him. A great sword or a whip is very good here, provided with the whip that you're utilizing repeated short hop attacks like you're playing Super Smash Bros, as they virtually eliminate landing lag and let you attack much faster consecutively than on the ground. The DPS on that tactic is very solid, and he'll be coating his weapon in fire in no time at all, like, oh shit, this bitch came to play. Sliding under him when he leaps is usually effective, since he has weird tracking on you if you try to outrun him, which is complete nonsense. Number 15, Gremory. This is proof that a Bloodstained boss can have no attacks and still kill you just by being there. You're forced to use the Zangetsuto Katana if you want to do any real damage with its guaranteed crits, but just prepare to take a butt-ass load of damage as you jump up and catch yourself on her sharp coat. I hate this boss because she doesn't do anything. She just floats around amidst other things that float around, and if you touch any of them, you take damage because fuck you. Number 16, Twin Dragons. These dudes are meaty, and not just because their organs are flopping around for everybody to see and making me hella hungry, but they have an ass buttload of health. I highly recommend the Welcome Company shard, which summons a bunch of revolving portraits that do contact damage, because without a consistent damage stream, you don't actually get many opportunities to swing your weapon at these guys, as they either crawl around the tower or take turns biting you with Olympic synchronicity. I give it 3 perfect 10s. Number 17, Maxi Pad. This blood lady got some real issues. Too bad there's no tampon shard. I bet that shit would insta-kill. This boss is one of the harder ones because she's extremely fond of just running directly into you as you try to attack her. Like, damn, she should be a linebacker for the WNFL because she'd be sending chicks to the hospital left and right and then probably absorbing their blood afterwards, which has to be a rule violation. But yeah, she's another one of those contact damagers, though it doesn't help that some of her umbrella bloodstream attacks are undodgeable unless you have that directional shield shard maybe. If you're gonna get hit by it anyway, might as well use the time to go ham on her instead of retreating. Like Poker Face, this boss heals mid-fight, absorbing the blood in the arena, which means the more you've gotten hit previously, the more health she heals, effectively punishing you for being bad at the game, which I can get behind conceptually until it's me being bad at the game, and then I'm like, oh my god, this is unfair. She's definitely tough, but just run out of potions and eat like 6 main courses and you'll come away with it. Number 18, OD. OD's difficulty depends on your build, really. Great swords do great against them, as the rhythm of them syncs up well to being able to dodge his quick frontal sword attacks if you keep jumping. Make liberal use of accelerators so you can jump around and dodge his teleporting attacks. You can accelerate for free if you've ingested enough drinks to give your MP charge a 5.0 boost. The attack you really have to watch out for is the one where he stops time and places like 80 roxicles in the air facing different directions before releasing them all at once. He has a tell for when he's winding up this move, so recognize it, and then accelerate over to a corner of the arena and crouch before he can stop time and they'll all miss you. Defeating him gives you the best reward of all bosses, the ability to check out every book in the library and never give it back, leading to the fall of literature and the demise of our generation's thirst for knowledge. Number 19, Zangetsu 2.0. It's like Zangetsu, but he has 2 more phases and more attacks. Apply everything I said about the first one to this one until he switches to ice, which is actually easier than his fire because his ice attacks are very predictable. Once lightning comes out, it's a bit harder, given the unclear hitboxes of his flashier moves, but the strategies never really change. You just have to do them for longer in this one and outlast him. Number 20, Master Carpenter. The Master Carpenter is a DPS test. If you fight him too early, you're going to die. It starts off simple enough with him just walking around throwing daggers at you, but then he starts summoning archdemons, and the arena's so tiny that the AoEs the demon uses are extremely difficult to dodge, so you'll be placed in situations where you have to get hit, and the Carpenter himself has a ridiculous amount of HP. If you can't make short work of the demon each time it spawns, you're probably going to get annihilated, which is lame because on paper the Carpenter sounds easy, but whatever. Number 21, 8-Bit Dracula. The second hardest boss in Bloodstained is the 8-Bit Dracula, which is another fight you don't want to do too early. It's completely optional, so you're free to grind as much as you want before you get in there. Hiding behind a breakable ceiling outside the Jebel boss fast travel room, and then behind another breakable wall inside that room, you'll find a bookcase that transports you to the world of 8-bit nostalgia, or if you're young, a magical world of shitty graphics, minus the fond contextual memories. I never played Castlevania, so none of this excites my testicles, but I can imagine imagine. The boss itself is a pink asshole who likes to do attacks that take up the whole map and require very precise jump timings to avoid. Highly recommend you fully upgrade the fire resist passive shard, which only takes 8 rubies to do, so you can sometimes negate the damage he does entirely while taking less overall. Halfway through the fight, his attacks get even more explosive, and the timing on avoiding his vertical firewall thing changes too, but if you do good damage, you don't have to deal with it very long. Number 22, Dominique and Bale. The hardest boss in Bloodstained Ritual of the Night is, well, Bale at least. As a precursor to that main event, though, you first have to contend with Dominique. The best method I've come up with for defeating her is to do enough damage to her so that the fight ends. Really gets the job done. After she's out of the way, she will take up residence in the skull of one of the 3 heads of Bale, the ultimate demon of demonic demonization. She just makes herself at home inside their foreheads like a giant louse, which is the singular of lice, by the way, which I didn't know until I just thought about it. Like that Christmas book where it's like, not a creature was stirring, not even a louse. I used to always be like, the hell is a louse? And now I know, the writer of that book definitely had lice. Anyway, this fight is a difficult endurance test because the heads all circle around the arena and make up the walls, floor, and ceiling, and they do contact damage, which you will be hit by countless times as you try to orient yourself at your constantly moving targets. They'll also occasionally cast spells at you, which aren't a big deal, but mostly just trying to hit the damn things without getting plowed into yourself makes up the brunt of the frustration of this. And that's gonna do it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe. I got other boss rankings and other types of videos too. Certainly more than enough to keep someone's interest for decades. So stick around, follow me on Twitter at Sunburned Albino, and I'll see you guys next time.